Let's call the meeting to order. And let the roll call show that Commissioner Erickson is absent. Okay. Look at the agenda. He added or taken off. Staff,
No, sir.
Motion to approve the agenda.
seconded. Motion carries. Don't need to worry again. Public comment.
I have not received any, sir.
On to the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Second, all in favor, aye.
All right.
Carried. You. Okay, I didn't read the reports, but they can follow it.
I did.
Did have one question. Actually, I asked Keith about the other day, is the water hookup he referred to on the north, the new construction. It's more of a curious question. So it must not have been part of the line that was replaced then, right?
Where the tie-in points are. I guess where we hook back up to the old stuff, kind of the break point between new and old. They've had to do a bunch of shut-offs and put new isolation valves in there so that the existing stuff in the neighborhoods could stay live. So to essentially isolate
They
the,
don't ever be used for anything.
oh yeah, they'll be useful isolation valves as temporary, and then if on the next set of projects comes, they would need a valve there because it'd be installed already.
No, okay. I'm looking at like, Michelle, you have a report?
You're not, hold on, sidetrack these days.
Okay, I understand that. Financial reports? No, I looked at them, I didn't have any questions.
Nope.
Other reports? I have questions on those either. We have to act on this.
No, it's just informational.
Okay. Regular agenda. MMUA Community Service Board.
Yes, Mr. Chair, just wanted to share, the MMUA summer conference was last week, in which Lee Steinbrucker was, officially awarded the service award. Fortunately, MMUA had allowed us to get that award early so that we could have our own ceremony with Lee, ourselves. But at the awards banquet, they did a nice, they shared a couple of the pictures which were in your packets. And just it included him and the thanks to everybody that supported municipal utilities in the state over the years. And as the commissioners were, he did pass away last week. So it was nice that we were able to give him that award in person. So I thank the commission for making time to do that outside of our normal schedule. MMUA will be putting together a press release on the awards, and as soon as I get that, I will report that on to the newspaper as well, so that we can give him the recognition that he's doing.
I did bring that up at our council meeting last week. There would be a press release. Look forward to the paper, I don't know the timeline would be, but. And then I did attend a visitation for the yesterday, and they had big screens up showing, light pictures, and our presentation at Turning Point was included in that mix. And it was, I heard it mentioned around, but that was walking around, people very grateful. Family was very grateful, all that. Okay, electric cap plan up. Give me update.
Yes, Mr. Chair, included in your packets is I did get updated timelines for the different phases of the project so that the commission can see where things are at. Do have a budget updates on phase one, which include the budget amount plus the actual or estimated finals. One thing I would point out there is you will see that the budgeted amount for contingencies is about $430,000. Our actual at the moment is just over $1 million. What happens is when when we're running under budget, DGR just puts those extra funds in the contingency, just as a placeholder until that project is completed. It is anticipated that whatever funds are left over, we could actually start using towards phase two. So that money will continue to, we may end up buying some equipment ahead of time to use up that $5, but contingency amount. So it's really good for our cash flow.
Yeah.
Just wanted to kind of explain that difference, but even though I know the last project or the last component that the commission approved was the meter cutover, which came in over engineer's estimate, but overall, the entire project is still running under our, under what we had planned for. So that's always a good sign. I did also include, information on the, updated budget estimates for phase two, distribution improvements. With the major minor materials broken out and the construction for the primary and secondary, as well as the meter cutover, plus the engineering contingencies. So you can see where that number is at. In addition, we're having to do a little bit of thought, put some thought into feeder one of undergrounding that. So we do have that as a separate, I've separated that out for the moment. Again, not looking for any action. It's just, we're just trying to keep you up, keep you know what we're looking at. If it comes that staff makes a recommendation for feeder one, we can deal with it at that time. But for right now, just let you know some things that we're thinking about. Otherwise, the project continues to move forward. I guess, Jeremy, is there anything you would like to add?
No, it's going really well. The meter cutover part is going extremely well. We're just about completed with the people that are along Highway 95 east of town and north of 95. I think we've got just a couple, like the bowling alley and the house right next to it. And then the pawn shop. And then the house right next to the pawn shop, I think, is everything that's left, like along the highway and north. And they're a little bit more not difficult, but a little bit more time consuming. And we're working with the homeowners and the business owners on those. But otherwise, we're down to south of the old Silver Lake Road, Alpha Road, down to the end of our territory, and the guys were moving north, ready to head west on Alpha or Silver Lake Road back towards town. So I at this point, yeah, it's looking really good. So the November 15th completion date is gonna come quick. We gotta get some of that stuff on the north end of town buttoned up. But we're, being that it's already September, so, but I mean, they're going good. So it's been going really well. So they've only been at it for what, a month, maybe? About a month and a half. So they've been knocking a bunch of them out. So been going good. So. Or was that just the east of town was November 15th?
I thought November 15th was the completion date for all of phase one. Thought that was next year though. Because phase one's gonna continue through into next year as well.
Right, but I don't remember, there was two completion dates. I'd have to look.
Yeah,
at the
you're right.
contract.
Yep.
But it might have been just that east of town stuff was the
Okay.
November 15th, because I think they had asked if we get done with the stuff east of town, I'd have to look back at the meter cutover contract, but if they could start in town yet this year. And I said, yeah, that's all part of the bid.
Yep.
So I said, yeah, that's fine. As long as we've got it heated up and we're ready to go. Yeah, absolutely. So there's no sense in waiting on it.
So as you can see, they've been hustling.
Yep.
They've been
It's going really well.
Yeah,
So,
just staying on schedule or sometimes even a little better.
Except every project is a visual, and I'm up there, we have some EAC pick up there, and we're on there. And it looks to me like it's going very well. Just the visual, of course, I'm not on the ground looking at it.
Well, what we're referring to is just the
I know,
capital.
but I'm talking about the whole big picture. Everything. Yeah, a little hiccup Monday night, huh? Yes.
yeah, well, it wasn't our hiccup, but the hiccup did affect us, yes. So,
I was up in Mora, actually had a meeting that night. Got home and my wife was already in bed, clocks were all breaking, so I said, well, left a lot of our show.
yep, the transmission line, apparently did have some trees go down on it somewhere south of here. I think Livonia Township was out even just south of, between Zimmerman and Princeton, they were out, so it must have been down that way somewhere, so. But yep, we were able to get the generators up and running and get everybody there for 2.5 hours, we ran maybe about that. Something like that before we
Couldn't have been very long.
no, until they were back on, until they had the transmission line rerouted and section or isolated and able to get it rerouted and get it back up. So, yeah,
We had everybody back up within the hour from when it kind of went out.
yeah,
I think we had to, took us a few minutes, everybody kind of held out till the storm got blowed over so we could get
Yeah.
the town. You couldn't see the road to get the
yeah,
town, so.
yeah, it took us a little while to get
I
there.
know everybody kind of
Yeah.
scooted in here and the cat picked up right away like it's supposed to, so it had the downtown and
Some, yeah,
couple lines there that grabbed on, whatever, like the pizza pub, they were out for 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, I happened to be there in the meeting, and yeah, it was like back on already.
Yep, and then, so that's the cat, so that's automatic, it just does its thing, grabs a certain much. And then we, got, we ended up running 2 old units. And, got the first one running there, then started picking up the hospital and adding as much, kind of adding and got another unit running, then grabbed the last little bit, so. By the time everybody was here, it went really quick, they say we had to wait out the storm, you couldn't see outside, so.
You know, you get to step out on Facebook and privately, all the comments were, oh, you know, good luck, guys, don't get hurt and stuff like that. Yeah, that's positive. Ready? Anything else on that subject?
Not on that subject, sir.
Yeah. So let's move on to the Department of Commerce grant application.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to give the commission an update on, what I was working on the last few weeks. Through the IIJA and the, IRA, there was a lot of federal funding that was out in the states that the state is then allocating, to various entities. In particular, there was a grant application, for, utilities to do, grid resiliency work, which included undergrounding and other measures. So I went through and put an application together on behalf of Princeton Public Utilities. The cap, it was $2 million, so I asked for the full 2 million in phase 2 for the 2 feeder lines that we're looking at hardening in that phase. That does have a 33% match grant, which still is within the budget, so it would all work out. The application was due on, it's supposed to be due on Monday, but they had a couple of glitchy things. I was able to work around it when I submitted our application, but they did extend the deadline until Friday of this week, but ours is in. And as part of the process, there was an opportunity there to also submit letters of support. So I reached out to Michelle. The city was very gracious in giving us a letter of support in our efforts. I got one from the chamber, and then Senator Matthews also provided us a letter of support. So I'm hoping that that just shows that that we've got the community support to work on this, and any grant funding that we would get would be used towards the project, which would help defer future rate increases. Got to pay for the project from somewhere. So the application went in, there is, the total budgeted allocation is only 12 million. So the department has indicated that they would prefer to partially fund many projects instead of fully fund a few. So I provided breakouts, so, if they split it out and we got, even if we got 200,000, you know, that's 200,000 we don't have otherwise, so, I would be very pleased with that. The timeline is they want to move through that pretty quickly. We should know by the end of the year. If we're in there, then we just would have to just work on getting the agreement in place, but we're trying to leverage whatever resources we can find out there. And in particular, I wanted the commission to be able to see the letters of support, and I think they were much appreciated as part of the process.
Yeah, I get one from the senator in the city. I think if given we would have supported you on the chamber, but if one from the senator, certainly should be a plus of. Anything to add to that?
That's it, unless you have, either of you gentlemen have any
Nope.
questions?
No, thank you for all your hard work. And that not everybody likes to do it, I don't think, from my experience anyway.
Yeah, they're not fun, are they, Michelle?
That's why I have to have our engineering firm do them.
Okay, let's move on to the big topic of the day.
I'll start, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Sure.
Staff have been working, with Civic Systems, to refine the cost estimate that we shared with the commission at the last meeting. We did identify a few areas that, could be removed from the initial proposal, and then if at some later date, staff believe that added functionality would be cost effective, we could always bring it back to the commission at that time. So the revised proposal, eliminated the following modules. One was the accounts receivable. That was, our intention was not to have had that in there in the first place. So that was just an oversight. So that did get removed, and that's simply because we don't do enough monthly invoices, which is all separate from our monthly utility bill. These are two different activities. So we currently do those, outside of our billing software anyway. So we did have that removed. And then to my viewpoint, we did, remove. We see some value in that, especially for the senior leadership team, when it comes to budgeting and project management, but it's, I'm just gonna be blunt, it's gonna take us a little bit of time to get used to the new system anyway, so, there's no harm in delaying that. And again, we can really evaluate it at that time. So we did remove my viewpoint, from the list as well, the quote. I did want to mention that the revised proposal did include a discount, that the Civic Systems is giving us because the city is already a customer, is also a customer. And, what we can think about how, those work, in the future. The revisions, decreased the price from what was the original $69,680 to $50,780, and decreases the annual estimated fee from $9,922 to $6,698. As a point of comparison, our 2024 Power Manager annual fee is $8,347.59. So actually, with these revisions, it brings our annual fee cheaper than what we're paying right now. But of course, there's that upfront cost of $50,000 that would have to be expended in order for us to switch. So we're hoping that that addresses some of the questions and addresses the discussion that the commission had last month, and looking for input. Well, Chrissy, did you want to add anything?
No, got it all.
Okay.
Well, I'll be the first one to tell you, I didn't read every line in this contract. But, the numbers part, of course, when I see numbers, look at the, obviously, when we discussed it at our last meeting, I was just kind of flabbergasted that the system we're currently using is folded, it's for one thing. That alone, I guess, tells me that maybe there's something to update. Cost wise, I look at these numbers, and for me, it doesn't mean a whole lot, because I don't know what the market is, or what's. Yeah, so we're familiar with it.
Yeah, I shared, I think, some background information where I believe Simpa spent $120,000, I think, on their accounting and billing software update. So, seeing price ranges, I was thinking kind of pushing 100,000 would be a price cut. So when I saw these prices, I was pleasantly surprised. So from what I've seen, I think it's very reasonable. Again, it's Civic Systems, so it matches up with what the city is paying as well. They use some different modules, and we use some different modules. That's why it's not exactly the same. We need the utility billing modules to be able to handle the monthly charges on that, but everything else matches up with what the city's contract was as well. So I feel very comfortable with that. There's no surprises there.
Oh, and that was the other component of it that I favored with learning that we had, we use that in the city. I take it we don't have issues with it, Michelle, or?
No, we actually moved finance software ahead about 30 years in one fell swoop and just about drove ourselves nuts doing it, but, we would not go back. We streamlined, half of our bill paying process used to be in an Excel spreadsheet and, we have My Viewpoint. It's basically the vehicle by which all of the senior leadership team on our side approves all their bills. It's relatively user friendly, especially if you're somewhat okay with change. We can run reports. Everything's interconnected. Our capital assets are connected to what we pay now. That used to be a standalone system. So we've pretty much integrated all of our finance stuff now into one software package. We can do invoicing. That used to be on a separate standalone. The folks at Cassell / Civic Systems, they hire people that are in the business for their tech support. So they have a lot of county auditor treasurers. They have utility billing folks. They have city finance folks that provide all the support and obviously not the programming, but if you have a question about why this report doesn't work, they can basically run you through it and make the modifications. But when we went through all the training, it's pretty detailed. And the nice thing is that if you forget something, their training materials are literally, you just click a button on the screen you're working on and you're gonna get the training information that you need. So we really like them. And every time we have an issue, especially Karen, when it comes to payroll, they are like seriously pretty much right on top of it, getting it fixed. So.
Well, to me, that's probably the biggest component, but we already have this program in place in the city, so we have some background on it. Add to that, Ed, or?
No, I think they touched on everything that I would say. I've been very comfortable with the company. They really, their bedside manner is, they really walk you through the process and hold your hand every step of the way. And if you do run into those problems, they're very prompt, considering some of the other clients that they have. I don't think you'll be disappointed in the software. There'll definitely be a learning curve compared to your current software. That's just the nature of the beast. But the rate at which Cassell has been developing the software and Civic Systems have been vetting the updates and making sure everything's stable before they send it out, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I trust that you and your staff did your homework and very put into that was taken care of. The other part, I didn't mention to you about the legal part of it, is the attorney had looked at it,
It's a very standard boilerplate contract. Again, it's very similar to what the city has. At the time, the city did look at it. There were no changes at that time either. So I did not have Damian specifically look at this one, because I know he had looked at the last one.
in my comments.
Yeah, I guess there's not a lot more I've got, but I guess from what I'm hearing, it sounds like it's gonna be a friendly company to work with. So that's a plus right there,
And just so you know, too, during the transition, we can run both systems in parallel. So that we can, our customers shouldn't see any difference until we switch over. And then the bills might have to change, I don't, we have to figure out some of the details. There might be some tweaks here and there that need to come in just because of how the different systems handle data. But generally speaking, our customers shouldn't see a difference in an interruption in service, I should say.
So remind me, because I can't remember now, I think last time you said the old system, other than being old, is also gotten to a point where it's not gonna be supported much longer, is that correct, or am I?
Well, Chrissy, if you want to answer.
I don't know that we want to use the word support it. They're still going to support it for a time. They
Right.
haven't told us that it's not going to be there. But they're not going to make any improvements or developments within it.
Okay,
If I may interject, I think the best way to explain this is they will maintain the software. They'll fix small minor bugs, but they're not gonna make any major improvements or enhancements.
Okay.
They're not gonna upgrade the software, but they will make sure that it's still available.
answers the question.
I'm confident it's time to make a move. What kind of action do you want to do?
I guess if the commission wanted to, you could just make a motion to accept, the Civic Systems proposal. It is about an 8 to 10 month,
Mhm.
lead time. So we would be able to, if the commission approves the contract, we would be able to contact them, get in the queue, and then hopefully, start working on it to get this switched over, let's say next summer. Sometime. So, but yeah, the first step would be to approve the contract so we can notify them that it's been accepted and get on their wait list.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and make that motion to, however you want to word it, accept the contract, or you
Yeah.
can word it the way you want, whatever you have to do to make it official.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and second, all in favor, aye?
All right,
Aye. And that passes. Carry on. Good luck. Sure it'll work.
Now I just handed to Chrissy.
Anybody else got anything else?
move to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn, and I'll second it, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Carry, we are adjourned.